Okay, today we're going to talk about the student snapshot assignment that's from our eLearn. Now, the objective is to learn and apply text and photo effect techniques in the image management software, such as Photoshop. What we're going to do is we're going to pretend that you are going to be featured in the school newspaper. You're going to create a student snapshot article in Photoshop that shows off your interest and personality. Now here is an example of what I consider to be one that is well done. Okay, so before you get started, let's take a look at the requirements. The required size needs to be 500 pixels wide by 600 pixels tall. Think about it. When you're putting something into an article for a newspaper spot or yearbook, there's only a certain amount of space allowed. So we are practicing that by fulfilling those requirements. Now, you must include the word student snapshot, a current picture of you that is recognizable, that it's obvious that it's you, no mask or anything covered or blurred. It must show you, which means recognizable. You must list your name and 6 or more facts about you. Now, you can either take a picture of yourself using Photo Booth or use a picture that you have provided that you've already taken, which I would prefer you did that. Photo Booth pictures aren't always that great. I'd like to see you in a natural setting. Design. You need to be sure to use the Photoshop layer styles and effects. Must use 2 or more. And when I'm talking about layer styles and effects, I mean like a drop shadow, stroke, glow, emboss, gradient, or some lowered opacity, as well as appropriate colors to give your image a professional look. So you must have a good balance of margin. Like I don't want your text like right up against the edge, or a little bit of space in between each other. Must have a nice use of unused space in the layout. Make it look professional. You may have 1 or 2 outside images like a guitar or drums or some type of logo or graphic. That's fine. I don't want a whole graphic encompassing the whole design. That takes away from the whole point of this exercise. Then at the end, you're going to save it correctly and save it in your first 6 weeks folder. Now let's get started. Open up Photoshop, File New, and let's call this Snapshot. Set the width to 500, height to 600. For this, resolution can be 72 or 150. I'm not picky on that. Background, we'll just choose white. We can change it later. Click OK. So here's the space that we have to work with. First thing you need to do is let's get a picture. So I'm going to go File, Place. And I took a picture from a previous exercise from Photo Booth right here. And I'm going to go Place. There you go. Now, here it is. So I got this layer. I'm not going to crop it. Okay, I got this image here. Now, I just remembered I had a the remove color version of that I like better, and I'm going to do it a different way. So I'm going to delete that layer. I'm going to go File, Open instead of File, Place. And I got this remove color from earlier. Well, not that one. Remove color 3. So I got this image. Now I don't want all this and that. I just mainly want me. So what I'm going to do is crop. So I'm going to set it up for profile. in a nice area for what I plan on doing with the layout. And double click, and then I crop. Now I got this layer, and I'm going to place it right in here. Now this is obviously too big. I can't have the whole thing be in my picture. It just wouldn't be good design. So what I'm going to do is go Edit, Free Transform, hold down Shift and grab it in the corner to keep it proportionally. If you don't hold down Shift, it stretches. Now I might want to look skinnier, but that's not always accurate. So I'm going to stretch it down to about right there. I want to leave some room for some good design. I'm going to hit Return, and it deselects. So I got my graphic. Now it's kind of a plain white background. Now you can get in the background and you could choose like a gradient. Now that looks awful. Here, image mode. No, that's right. Let's see. So I got that. Now that's just temporarily. I probably won't use this. I think I'm going to choose a better. I'm going to do Mesquite High School Maroon 8B0000 for my hexadecimal number. Click OK. Now I'm going to delete that background, add a new layer, move that to the bottom, start all over. Alright, so I got a maroon. So I'm going to click back on this layer, and I'm going to add like a border around it. So I'm going to go to my layer effects and add a stroke. Now I can adjust this stroke to be as big or small as I want it. You can choose inside, center, or outside. I like the outside one. You can even change the opacity of the stroke, like a little bit transparent, or you could choose a gradient stroke, or have a pattern. That one's kind of neat. Let's see. I'll stick with that one. Now I could, to make it look pop off the screen, I might add a drop shadow. I got to click on this, and I can increase the size, get a further distance. Might increase the size, lower the stroke maybe, a little too thick. Now I could go even further, add an inner shadow glow or whatever. You could even add a bevel emboss. Click OK. There you go. So I got my, oh, I did not mean to do that. I got my picture here. Now the instructions say must include the word student snapshot, your name, and 6 or more facts. So let's look at this design here. What I might suggest is, she's got some fancy font here. You may have to do this. You may have to go to www.defont.com and go and find some type of fancy font and download it, find it, and install it. You might have to close Photoshop and reopen it and it'll reappear in your font list. I've already gotten some fancy fonts, so I'm good, but I wanted to give you that option. Now, first off, I might want to put my title on a rounded no, I could use a rectangle or a rounded rectangle, and just kind of make a border here. Now, I could even go and mess with the preset styles. Let's see. I was wanting some type of wooden. Let's see. Glass buttons, text effects, textures, pinned. There you go. So I got some type of round style there. Now you can turn certain effects off in your layers palette. Now I might even add a stroke around it. And I am going to add a text. Now I'm going to click. Now it made this a bounding box. And I'm going to type Mr. Coursey. Or you might use this as student snapshot. Now, I'm going to use something a little fancier than Arial. I'm going to go down to my fancy fonts that I've already downloaded. Get a preview here. Let's see, I missed some stuff. Okay, so I found Dead Kansas. I got that one from defont.com, and I got it here. So I'm going to hold down my space bar. Oh, no, don't do that. Undo. Hold down the command key. It allows you to change it to the arrow. See? Spacebar, release, spacebar, release, and I can move it down or use I can actually use the move tool and use my arrow tools and get that. Now if I want, I can add an effect or a stroke around that as well. Why not? Add a stroke, it pops out more. Might make it a little bit leaner. I could leave it white or change the color. So I got student snapshot right there. Now, next thing is I'm going to make a title for my name. Mr. Coursey. Now I don't suggest that you use more than 3 different fonts, but 2's probably good. Now I could leave it there. I can adjust the size. And I can go edit, free transform, and I can rotate it. And then hit enter, and let me get the auto select for the move tool so I can move layers around. Now I don't like that there, so let's see how that looks. If you want, you could get some type of shape and put it around it to kind of balance it out or border it. You can also find a custom shape and let's see what looks good. You got banners here, and I'm going to choose a black fill. There you go. And I just need it. If you notice here, my text is behind the shape and I want it in front. So I go to my layers panel, move it in front. There you go. Now, do I want to keep the curve? Maybe not so much. And it could still be slanted a little bit. Hit apply. There you go. Now, if I want to keep these together, you can do something called grouping. I'm going to hold down Shift, and I got both of these selected. And you can merge the layers, or you could go under Layer and group them. See, they're in the group. So now, when I move them, they're together. Maybe leave that there. Now, next I'm going to create the 6 things in the directions. So I needed to write 6 or more facts about myself. Now you can add additional graphics, but I'm going to do like a transparent backdrop, like a rounded rectangle. And I'm going to make it white. Now you'll see what I'm about to do. Let's see. Plus. Alright, so I got this white backdrop here. I am going to go in the layers palette and lower the opacity. There. Now you can increase or decrease that. You can add a border around it, like for a stroke. Click OK. Now I don't like that too much. I'm going to leave that there and maybe go under the effects. Color overlay. Opacity. That doesn't work either. Hit cancel. Alright. So I got white here. Now, you can title it Fun Facts right here, or you can just start saying stuff like, ooh, I don't want to do that. Now it made a new bounding box in the for the text layer, the shape of that. Now I don't want to do that. Let's see. Just go ahead and type. I want to do left alignment. I'm going to say, you could start with name and put your name instead of doing that. Or you can say, make sure you don't put white text over white text. Now I'm going to use something besides Dead Kansas. That hobo, that's a favorite of mine. I'm going to type school. And I might change the font. So that's one, that's two fonts. Change the font to something a little different. Let's see. Make sure it's readable. Now you might search real good and hard in planning for the font on dafont.com. It is so hard to choose. Let me see. I'll just use Futura. That's one that I use. And then I might change the color. Or you can click with the eyedrop and match that maroon and type Mesquite High School. Now this, I don't want it right up against the edge of that border here. So I'm going to click the move tool and I'm selecting here. How did I get that layer there? I'm selecting this. Move that over and get the text tool. Undo. Okay, so the best thing to do is try not to get it to stay in here and make your own bounding box. Well, now it's letting me adjust the size. So I want to adjust the size with these anchor points and give it a little bit of margin space away from the edge. So no text right up against the edge. I'm going to hit return. And I'm going to go back to my hobo font with black text. And type, whoop, it did not change it. I'm going to do it in all caps. Hobbies. I'm going to change this one to all caps. And match that. And change it back to Futura. I collect, get it off caps lock. Collect coins. I collect autographs from Comic-Con. And I spend time with family. Now, you might have to adjust the size to get everything to fit where you want it. Then hit return. Now I'm going to highlight that, Command C, Command V, copy that in there. That way you don't have to go through all that with the fonts. And I'm going to, let's see, favorite school subjects. Caps lock. Now that's a little big, so I might shrink that up a little bit. Now I might end up adjusting the size for all these. See, that's 18. I'm going to change all these to size 18. Now I'm going to highlight these and I'm going to go Window. Where's it at? Character. And you can adjust the spacing in between. Now that's 14's not enough. 48's too much. You can click and drag where you want it. Now if you want like the same thing to be a little bit closer, highlight those only. There. I'm going to say, I'm going to copy, paste, and say digital and interactive media, audio, video, production. Okay. Favorite you can do two people you like to meet, or favorite performer, worst habit. Just choose about 6, or your pets. I could say that. I don't have any because I don't like animals. So I might highlight this, copy, paste, copy, paste, and type none. I don't like animals. Just me, not for everybody. I just don't like feeling like I live in a barn. Okay. Not to say that you do if you have animals. Alright, so the next one. Favorite possession is something I currently own. like to brag, but I have a 2012 Chevrolet Camaro that I just bought for my wife, and I like to drive it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I encourage you to do as many as you can, just to let everybody know you. I'm going to do one more. And it is going to be, you can come up with something else. You don't have to use everything she used. Worst habit. Caps lock. My worst habit. Chewing ice, and I like to eat. So that is it. Try to use some of the concepts that we've learned in previous lessons. Make it look nice. I bet you could do a much better job than what I did. And that is it. And you will save it, file, save as, go to your first 6 weeks, and let's pretend we're in first 1A. So I'll go 1A underscore last name. You'll put your last name, not mine, your first initial underscore snapshot.psd. And you will save that in your first 6 weeks folder. Click OK. And then you will double check, open up Finder, Documents, first 6 weeks. There it is. And when you are completely done, you will make sure that it's closed. That's very important. It must be closed in Photoshop before you turn it in. If you turn it in and it's open, it messes up the file, and I'm not able to open it on my end. So make sure Photoshop is closed, and then you'll drag it in the Dropbox. And it might ask you, say you don't have access, you just click OK. And that is it for the student snapshot.